wander onto the freeway. I lay on the couch for what must have been hours, binge-watching some show about British aristocrats and their servants. Thank God I wasn't born in 19th century England. You can't be a British lady if you're a mouthy alcoholic who screws half the landed gentry. I would have done worse as a servant. I can barely fry an egg, and half the time, I'm too paralyzed by my own shit to get out of bed. I'd end up as a consumptive whore, blowing sailors for my supper in a London tenement. The curtains were drawn, and eventually light stopped leaking in from the window edges. I usually do better when the sun goes down, but nightfall didn't bring me a second wind. It made me feel worse. I poured myself another drink and lit a cigarette. My cell kept blowing up with a number I didn't recognize. I'd had this phone for 6 months and never transferred my contacts over from the last one. Now my caller ID served as a kind of litmus test. If someone hadn't reached out in half a year, they weren't worth my time. I let it go to voicemail and turned back to the aristocrats. The only decent one was dead now. This show was making me tired. There was a knock on the door. Probably the neighbor coming to tell me her baby couldn't sleep because I make use of my electronics. I ignored it, took a swig of whiskey and lit another cigarette. Then whoever it was started pounding. "Margot, open up," said a loud tenor. The voice was familiar, but I couldn't place it. His tone had an edge of desperation. Could it be that cop from last week? A wave of dread flowed through me. My hands started shaking, and a clump of ash fell on the couch. If I kept very still, maybe he'd think I wasn't home and go away. No, the TV was too loud. He knew I was in here. I tiptoed over to the keyhole and gasped. My drink flew from my hand and shattered, coating the floor in alcohol and shards of glass.
Chapter 1. Present Day. Kate. 7 letters down. A heavenly body. Jupiter. That's an easy one. It even has a double meaning. A planet and a Roman god. Crosswords try to be cute like that. It's one of the many discoveries I've made since the divorce. You pick up a lot when you have long stretches of alone time. Give me another 6 months, and I'll have more hobbies than a Jane Austen heroine. The appointment alarm on my phone buzzed with a 15-minute warning. I looked down at the small screen. A new client meeting with some guy named Starling. The name sounded familiar, but that was about it. In moments like this, I wished I could afford a secretary. I grabbed the 3 half-filled legal pads at the end of my desk and started flipping through pages of my barely legible scribble. I make up for my lack of organization by being a pack rat. My drawers are filled with half-used notebooks with tidbits from different investigations. When a case gets complicated, I rip out the scrawl and stick it in a separate folder with the client's name written in Sharpie. It's not exactly the Dewey Decimal System, but after 36 years of flaming ADHD, it's the best I've come up with. And frankly, I'm competent, despite my shortcomings. I'm a better-than-average PI. In another life, I was a damn good detective. The relevant note was buried in the 3rd legal pad, below doodles of a sad-looking older man and a girl in a beret hanging from a rope.